Om. Om. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamatsyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhasha Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejas Vinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. So we are on the topic of Prarabdha of a saint, Prakarshena Arabdha, that which has very well begun. And when did it begin? It began actually because it fructified, those karmas fructified, birth happened. So Prarabdha karma begins at birth. And when Prarabdha karma gets over, the body will perish. It is not that the body perishes and then the Prarabdha karma gets over. Prarabdha karma has to be over, and when it is over, then whatever age the body might be, the body is going to perish. So what Bhagwan in this, generally what he's saying is, yes, there are two standpoints again. One is when an ignorant person or ordinary people look at a realized master, they do see that there is Prarabdha. Why? Because the body gets disease, decay, gets sick, gets hungry. That is also Prarabdha, realized masters also get thirsty, hungry. And so they might get angry also sometimes. So that is the standpoint of the ignorant person who is looking at the realized master. But Bhagwan is now going to say, and this is how it works, is from the standpoint of the realized master himself, because he is identified with the self has no Prarabdha karma. The self has no Sanchita karma, Agami karma, or Prarabdha karma. So because he is identified with the self, he says that there is no Prarabdha karma for me. However, he is still continuing, the Jiva is still continuing to live in the body, and then the body has Prarabdha. So both standpoints are correct. It is like a person who is standing at the top of a very tall building, and there is a person who is standing on the ground floor. The person on the ground floor says, what a big truck it is coming on the road. And the person on top says, that's a toy truck. That's not big at all. That is the difference. Okay. So I have my bookmark on 462. Correct? Good. Sharirasyapi prarabdha kalpana bhrantirev hi adhyastasya kutas sattvam asattasya kuto janihi ajatasya kuto nashaha prarabdham asata kutaha. This is the highest standpoint. To attribute prarabdha even to the body is decidedly an illusion. How can a superimposition have any existence? How can the unreal have a birth? And that which is never born, how can it die? So how can prarabdha function for something unreal? So the standpoint here is that the body itself is an illusion. What is illusion? Mithya. Mithya is that which is experienced, which is seen at a particular time and will not be seen at some other time. That is what mithya. Mithya is not false. False is that which never existed, which you can never see, like the horns of a rabbit. That is the example that is given, or the son of a barren woman. You cannot say his mother was barren. If he is born of that woman, then that woman can't be barren. So that's false. Mithya is something that you see, and therefore Mithya is the mirage waters. Mithya is the snake. Mithya is the sky, the blue sky that we see is Mithya because it is not blue. There is no sky, but we do see it. And that is what Mithya is, that which is seen, but doesn't have any reality. So the realized master says, yes, I see my own body and you see your own body, but the body is an illusion. So how can an illusion have prarabdha karma? It can't. This is the standpoint. This is the higher standpoint. Now, what happens for a realized master is, because the question arises, yeah, but the body gets disease and decay, etc. While the master is in samadhi, if he is in samadhi, I told you, then the body is prarabdha, sort of, it doesn't work. Like there is no prarabdha for the body. The body is living, the totality maintains it. And the Mahatma, and Raman Maharshi is the perfect example. He was in samadhi, and so the body was as is, it was there, right? But when he comes into the world, like when he comes out of samadhi and into the body, and then he starts moving around, then the prarabdha is seen for the body. But the question is here, what it is saying, how can there be prarabdha for something which is asat? Body is asat, body is an illusion. This is what Bhagavan is saying. Think, how can there be? So these are standpoints, okay? From our standpoint, we are so much identified with the body. Please understand there is prarabdha for the body. And because there is prarabdha, birth took place. And because there is prarabdha, all kinds of things are happening to our body. For us, the sadhana would be to understand that these are happening to the body and not to me. That differentiation has to come at our level. That is happening to the body. And yes, okay, I have to do this to alleviate the pain, suffering, whatever it is that you have to alleviate, you do it. But don't consider it to be happening to you yourself, because you yourself are actually that Brahman, which we right now we don't know. Okay. All right. 463. Jnanena jnanakaryasya samulasya layo yadi tishtatyayam katham deha iti shankavato jadan samadhatum bahya drishtya prarabdham vadati shrutihi. If the effects of ignorance are destroyed, root and all, by knowledge, how does the body continue to live? The question. Shruti, from a relative standpoint, hypothesizes the work of prarabdha for those fools who entertain such doubts. Okay, so let's see. Shruti from a relative standpoint means from the standpoint of the ignorant. Anything relative is in duality, and duality is in ignorance. So it means from our standpoint. Shruti says, hypothesizes, hypothesis. It is a hypothesis. It is not real. It is said, Shruti says that the body has prarabdha. So you see, then it is explained how Ramakrishna Paramahansa got cancer or Gurudev got heart disease. How do you explain that to us? So that's why Shruti says, one thing about adhyasa that we should understand here, superimposition, there are two kinds of superimpositions. So there is one superimposition which is the snake and rope. Okay, that is a superimposition which we know very well. The other superimposition is the blueness of the sky. Now, in the case of the superimposition of snake and rope, the superimposition goes away when the light is turned on. Right? The snake is not there. Once the light is turned on, then we only see the rib. So the superimposition goes away. Whereas for the blue sky, that superimposition never goes away. The sky is always there. Every day it is there. Only my intellect is telling me that no, there is no sky and there is no blueness or grayness or whatever colors that I see. My intellect is telling me that. But does it vanish? The sky never vanishes. It's always there. So these are the two types of superimpositions that are at play. One that disappears upon knowledge, like the snake and rope or the mirage waters. You go close, then you know there is only sand, and one that never disappears. So for the realized master, this body is there, but it is it's like the sky, the blue sky. The body does not vanish upon realization. I told you, just because realization happens, the body just doesn't fall. And that's why another reason is given why that body is not falling is because prarabdha karma is still at play. But to the realized master, it is like the blue sky. It is a superimposition, but it is going to continue. It is not like the snake and rope where the snake will disappear. So the body will not disappear. It will continue like the snake, like the sky, like the blue skies, and let it continue. The realized master says, what is it got to do with me? It's got nothing to do with me. If the body's prarabdha is there to get food, it'll get food. I'm not going to cook. Therefore, realized masters don't say, what should I do tomorrow? Let me buy some groceries. We do that. Tomorrow, what will I cook if I don't have anything in the fridge? Realized masters don't. So this is what he's saying. Jnanena adnyana karyasya samulasya layo yadi when because of jnana, the effect of adnyana is gone. Adnyana only is gone. Ignorance is gone because of knowledge. So jnanena adnyana karya is effect. Karana is cause, karya is effect. So the effect, ignorance is gone. So obviously the effect of ignorance also is gone. Effect of ignorance is the body, the reality given to the body, the thought I am the body is an effect of ignorance. It's an effect. What is the cause? Cause is the ignorance. So now the cause has been removed, ignorance has been removed. Why? Because knowledge dawned that I am the supreme self. That knowledge has now dawned. It's a realized master. That knowledge has dawned. So ignorance is gone. So obviously the effect of ignorance also is gone. So if the effect is gone, then how can there be this thing? Tishthatyayam katham deha iti shankavato jadan. Jadan is ignorant fools. Jada means inert. So jadan means not that the inert objects are questioning. We are questioning that if everything is gone, then why there is prarabdha for the body? How come the deha is still tishtata staying? The body is still alive. If such a question is asked, who will ask this question? Ignorant people. Because you see, at one point we're saying there is prarabdha, at one point we're saying there is no prarabdha. So if this question is asked, so that's why to appease them, Shruti says that bahya drishtya, from the standpoint of the external world, from the standpoint of others, from the standpoint of us ignorant people, when we look at the realized master, then we say, yes, the body has prarabdha. And if you see in Tattva Bodh, when we read Tattva Bodh, Bhagwan says there is prarabdha for the realized master. Bhagwan says that there. There he says, but this is to be studied afterwards. And that's why now Bhagwan is saying, think that so it is a standpoint. Huh? It is like somebody saying world is real, somebody saying world is not real. This is a standpoint. Somebody who's standing on the earth says that there is sun, light, and then there is darkness. But somebody who's standing on the sun, he says there is only light. Where is the darkness? There is no darkness. If you reach the sun, you will never see darkness. So you see that difference from one standpoint, but from other standpoint, there is no difference. There is nothing. There is the difference has to be in two things. There's light and there's darkness. From earth, I see light. I also see darkness. From the sun, I only see light. So prarabdha from the earth, like it appears that the body has prarabdha, but truly, the realized master says no, because the body itself is an illusion. How can an illusion have prarabdha? It's like saying, you know, that snake, let me kill the snake, and then saying that I killed the snake. How can you kill the illusion? You can't. Okay. So, natu dehadi satyatva bodhanaya vipashchitam yata shrutera bhiprayah paramarthaika gocharaha. The idea of prarabdha has been expounded by the Upanishads, not for proving the reality of the body, etc., for the man of realization, because the Upanishads are without exception striving to point out the one supreme reality. I have underlined just a few lines down in the first paragraph. He says that the Upanishads condescend to recognize the play of prarabdha only out of their infinite grace, to accommodate fools in their early stages of unpreparedness, that they may later accept the total vision of the absolute one. That's what I told you. Tattva Bodh, Bhagwan clearly says there is prarabdha. Now he says there is no prarabdha. See, let us understand this a little bit deeper. When a student first comes into Vedanta, you know, their studies, every one of us thinks that there are three different things. That's the typical baseline. There is I, that is the first. Aham is always at the top. First, it's me. Then I am seeing this world, Jagat, and then who created the world? I know I didn't create. So, okay, there is God. There is some Ishvara somewhere who is created. So there are three things. Okay. Now, this is a very new initiate into Vedanta. So the way the initiation goes is that the student will ask, who created the world? Because that much, when he comes, he knows he has not created it. So what do we say? God created the world. And what example do we give? See, the pot maker is there. He created the pot. Like that, there is a God. God created the world. And the student is happy. At that stage, he's happy. He goes off. Now he's doing some more studies. Now he has a thought. Wait a minute. Pot maker created the pot, but he had clay. He had material. Then what material did God have? Now the student is maturing in his thought process. Because he was happy. He said, God created the world. Okay, fine. God created, chalo, theek hai. But then he's thinking, yeah, you said pot maker created the pot. Just like that, God created the world. But pot maker had clay. What did God have? Then when he comes back, then we introduce Prakriti. We say, yeah. God also has the material, and the material is provided by Prakriti. And she has these three gunas, and then Prakriti creates, and that is the material. So for a while, the student is happy. So, okay. So there is God, there is Prakriti, and then the creation has happened. He created the world with Prakriti. Then he thinks, and then he comes back, and he says, wait a minute. So are you saying that there are two things? Because there is a pot maker, number one, and number two, there is clay. Now you're saying that there is one God, and then there is Prakriti. So there is one God and one Prakriti. That means there are two things. Are there two things? Is the material Just like clay is different from the pot maker, is Prakriti different from Bhagwan, from Ishvara, from the Lord? Then if we say yes, then Advaita is negated, because then there is Dvaita, duality is there. So when that student has thought that much and is questioning that thing, we introduce superimposition. That is when superimposition is the highest. Highest means that is the explanation for Advaita Vedanta. I've told you, Advaita cannot stand without the theory of superimposition. So at that time we say that no, just like if there is a rope in the corner and you walk in and you see a snake, it is not like the rope created the snake. You see the snake because of your ignorance of the rope. You are ignorant of the rope. You did not see the rope very clearly, and therefore now you're seeing the snake and you're becoming afraid of it. That way, this entire creation is a superimposition on the substratum. So actually, Prakriti and Ishvara are not different. Actually, there is no world. It's an illusion, like the snake. That is how then you introduce. This is what the principle is being used here. First, there is prarabdha for the body. For the realized master, there is prarabdha. The body is continuing to live because we are saying that unless prarabdha karma ends, body will not end. There is. And then you slowly work your way up to say that, think about it. Body is an illusion. How can there be prarabdha for an illusion? This is how you bring up the student. That's the ladder of, thought process. That's why I'm reminding you of Tattva Bodh. If you read Tattva Bodh, there it says, and also for us, it makes complete sense. At our, see, if we keep having doubts, because it makes sense that, the realized master lives after he has realized. Then we see him getting sick, having disease, having this, having that, etc. We see that. So obviously there has to be, and it is a perfect explanation also. But if you go to the standpoint of the realized master, who knows that the body, it is an illusion, but right now we are giving it too much reality. We give the body very much reality. Therefore, anything that happens to the body, anything anybody says to us, when our mind gets hurt, we are sad, we get depressed, or we get happy. If somebody says good things, then we get happy. That is the identification. Nobody says that I am the body or I am identified with the body. Okay, just Wednesday this thing happened. So we have our seniors get together every month, and then anyway, there was one friend of mine, first time only she came, doesn't matter, and then she had not seen my condo. So I said, why don't you come home and see my condo? It's on the way to her house. She lives downtown. And we got into the elevator and she said, my eyes are watering, she said. I thought, why? She said, oh, I should have worn my glasses at the meeting. Vanity, she said. Vanity, she didn't wear her glasses. Why? Because people will think she's old. She's got a 16-year-old grandchild. Now, still you don't want people. That is what indicates the identification with the body, that I don't want people to see that I wear glasses. Now, my eyes are watering. Then you suffer. She said, I should have worn vanity. And she said, she used the word. I didn't say anything. I just kept quiet. I said, okay, it's your problem. You didn't wear glasses. Your eyes are watering. What can I do? She said, vanity. That is the indication. Nobody says that I am the body and I'm identified. Nobody says that. That's how it is indicated. Now Prarabdha topic is over.
Jayaji, I have one.
Okay.
Jayaji.
Yeah, there is.
I just, when you were saying about the snake and the rope, I just thought about this. I mean, I know we take it as an example, but when we say when it's dark, ignorance, but the rope, we see it as a snake. but we need to know that there is something, the rope is something like a snake, that information in
that
our
knowledge,
head, that knowledge has to be there, no?
Correct.
So
very good point. Yeah.
I mean, I just thought about it, that if we don't know anything, if we are ignorant of everything, everything is an illusion, then how do we know it's a snake?
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Because, correct. See, it presupposes that person has seen a snake before. Please understand that knowledge that person has. Snake knowledge he has, like he has seen a snake before, he or she. He knows what a snake is, what it looks like. Now, it is not complete dark either. It is half dark. Okay. So for us, are you comparing it to us? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that without, when we all say everything is an illusion, the whole world is an illusion, then how can you have the information that we have seen a snake?
Yeah.
The first thing is, how do you have that information that, okay, this is like a snake? When you consider that the whole world is an illusion, then
but even in that illusion, but you have to understand that the world is an illusion. But did you know that it was an illusion? You are thinking it is real. In that real world, you have seen a snake somewhere. Okay. So that's why a child, a baby, will just go play with the snake.
Yeah.
Why? Because it doesn't have memory. Or fire, it could put its finger on a hot plate, or children putting fingers in the plug.
Correct.
Outlet, right? Why? Because that shock has not happened. We have experienced, so we are telling the child, don't do that. Right? So in our case, you have to understand that, first of all, we have never considered the world to be an illusion. Okay. Second of all, we don't know how many births we have taken, and we have memories of past births in subtle form.
Okay.
So that's why. And in our case, we are ignorant. Okay. But are we completely ignorant? Am I saying that I do not exist at all? Is anybody saying that? I am saying I exist. So that knowledge is there, I exist. But the problem is, I exist as what?
Yeah.
That we don't know. I think I am the body. That's what I'm giving you the example. Nobody says I am the body. Correct. But when people say, because of vanity, I did not wear my, what is the meaning then? What, you wanted your eyes to water, that's why you didn't wear, or you didn't want other people to know that you're wearing glasses. Why do you not want other people? Why people will think I'm old or whatever? I don't know what they think, right? Yeah, that is what it is. And we do have memory. So because how do I know that? And who told us that I am the body? Nobody. We just presumed, right? Because we have brought those vasanas from past lives. That's why. Okay. Got it. Do I tell my grandchild, you're the body? Do I tell the child? No, I don't. Nobody tells. Nobody told me you're the body. Make sure. Nothing like that, right? But we consider it like that anyways. All right, now this portion is the highest portion. There is no plurality. I've always told you that even now, when we see the differences, there is really no difference. This is what Bhagwan is now going to hammer. Once again, hammering. Verse 465. Paripurnamanadyantam apramayam avikriyam ekamevadvayam brahma nehananasti kinchana. Only Brahman is there, non-dual, with no beginning or end, incomparable and changeless. In it, there is no duality whatsoever. So this is in the present tense. Only Brahman is there right now. Even when I see all these differences, and this Nehananasti Kinchana will be repeated. And Nehananasti Kinchana is from Kathopanishad, picked up from Kathopanishad. That's where we see. Nana is grandfather also, but here Nana is variety. This is Sanskrit Nana. This is not Hindi Nana. right? It's not like that. So this is he's saying paripurna. Words we have heard, will again see what they explain. What is paripurna? Pari, I told you, is all round. Purna, complete. It's complete from all round, or it's all round complete. What does it mean by all round complete? To understand paripurna, you know what we have to first, which will be easy to understand, what is incomplete. And why is it easy to understand what is incomplete? Because we are incomplete. We are living in incomplete. So that is, we can relate very well to it. Okay. So let us understand what is aparipurna, which is not paripurna. Okay. And when we understand that, then we'll know what the opposite is. So this incompleteness is coming from three different aspects. One is space, one is time, and one is objects. These are the limiting factors that we are very well aware of. So space. I am sitting in this chair. I'm actually sitting in the den, and I'm not in the bedroom. Forget me being in India or anywhere else in the universe. I'm not even in my living room. I'm not even in my kitchen. That is a limitation of space. And I have given it reality. I'm here. I'm not there. I'm here. Okay. Then time. I was born on such and such a date, and this is my age. It's my age, right? And I've seen other people die. So presumably I'm also someday going to die. That means there is a beginning and there is an end. Limitation on account of time. Because I was born here, I'm going to end here. Limitation on account of time. Limitation on account of space. These we know very well. Nobody, if I say that I am here as well as in the bedroom, people are going to think I'm crazy. People who are not into Vedanta are going to say, what do you mean? You know, we see you in this room. How can you tell me that you are also in the bedroom or in some other room? So that time. And objects. So I am sitting here. So nothing else is there can be here. That is limitation on because of object. Now, paripurna means it should not have limitation of space, time, or objects. That is what, because this is a paripurna. Space is limiting me, time is limiting me, and objects are limiting me. I am here, so nothing else is here. So this is a paripurna that I'm describing, and we know that very well. So paripurna will be, there can be no limitation because of space. So that means I am all pervading. That is what paripurna is. All pervasiveness is paripurna in the aspect of space. Then time. Never was there a moment when I was not there, and never will there be a moment in the future when I'm not there. That's what Bhagavan is telling Arjuna in chapter 2. That these kings, they were there previously also, and they are now also, and they will be living in future also. Nobody is going to die. That is paripurna with respect to time. An object in and through the creation. All pervasiveness means what? Therefore, we cannot say that, oh, this is a dead body, so there is no pure consciousness in that dead body. Then this all pervasiveness is negated. So even in a dead body, even in inert object, in and through the creation, in a cloth, there is a horizontal cloth and a horizontal thread and a vertical thread, vertical and horizontal thread. That's how, if it was only vertical threads, the cloth will tear to give it strength. So what we say is, in this universe, horizontal also pure consciousness, vertical also pure, diagonal also pure consciousness. Everything is in and through. Pure consciousness is in and through every object. So there is no limitation on account of object. Because see, I'm saying this computer screen is here. That means nothing else is there. In that space, there is nothing else. I'm sitting here, so there is nothing else. That is what I'm saying. That is aparipurna. That is incompleteness. That is limitation. But when it is said paripurna, then there is no limitation on account of space, on account of time, and on account of objects. That becomes paripurna. Then paripurnam anadya, non-dual. Non-dual. Anadya means there is nothing else other than Brahman. Now, if this Brahman is Paripurna, if I say that there is something other than Brahman, then the Paripurnata will be negated. Why? Because there is existence over here and there's something else over here. That means this Paripurnata is because there is a boundary now, right? It can't. I am a Paripurna by because I am here, and then suppose next to me, this screen is there, this something book is there. Next to me, there are many objects. But if we say Brahman is Paripurna, then it has to be Anadi. There cannot be anything else. Because if we posit, if we hypothesize that there is something other than Brahman, then Brahman becomes Aparipurna. And already it is said Paripurna. So Brahman, there cannot be anything else. This is what Bhagavan is trying to say. Even now, there is nothing. This is what Bhagavan is trying to say. Huh? This is the highest standpoint. Not Aprameya, non-comprehensible. See this Prameya is to know. Like, how do I know? In our world, there are 5 parameters by which we come to know. Jati, Guna, Kriya, Sambandha. No, 4, not 5, 4. Jati, Guna, Kriya, Sambandha. So how does this Jati is not Brahman, not caste. Huh? Jati means this is the bird species. So this thing that I see flying, it is a bird, quote unquote. If it is crawling on the ground, oh, it's a reptile. If it is walking on 2 legs, it is a human being. That is how I recognize. Okay. One way of recognizing something else. Because we're saying aprameya, we are saying Brahman is aprameya. Okay, so these 4 things let us understand, then we know how Brahman becomes aprameya. So there is one thing by which we can see is this jati. Next is kriya. Kriya is the action that person is doing. So we say, oh, this is a doctor, engineer, software engineer, teacher, whatever. So that is another one, kriya. Then there is sambandha, relationship. So, oh, that is my, I think like when I was in elementary school, everybody knew me as Neil's mother. They didn't know what my name was. It was Sai's mom or Neil's mom. And even I know Heather's, I actually met one lady. I said, you're Heather's mama? She said, yes. I didn't know her name. I met her very recently. Okay. Children have left. But that is how you recognize a person. Because my child is studying in that school, that person's child is, so we say you're that one's mother. Now recognition comes. That is sambandha. Jati, kriya, guna. So guna is their qualities. Oh, say there is a room crowded full of people. A room full of people, and then somebody says, where is so? I say, oh, you see that tallest person? That is this guna, that pointing out. So this is how I can point out. That is how they become prameya. This person doesn't know who this XYZ is. This person is coming to me saying, do you know XYZ? I say, oh, do you see that person who is very tall? Oh yeah, I see that person. That is XYZ. Like that. So these are the 4 ways in which we indicate people or whatever in this transactional world. Now, when we say jati, Brahman is not flying, is not crawling on the thing, not walking. So there is no jati for Brahman. There's no species. There's no species. Then kriya, Brahman is not a doctor or an engineer or a software engineer or a teacher. So it's not Dr. Brahman or a teacher Brahman. So you can't point out, oh, that one, oh, that one is a teacher, that one is a doctor. You can't point like that. Then sambandha, you cannot say, because Brahman is non-dual. Sambandha, there has to be 2 people, la? Neil's mom, Sai's mom. That is, there is one Sai, there is one mom, and there is one Neil. 2 people at least have to be there. Now Brahman, there is nothing else. So how you can say Brahman is so-and-so's mother or father or brother or sister? You can't. And then guna, tall, short, it's all pervading. Can't say Brahman, oh, that tall, oh, that short, oh, you see that fat one, that one is XYZ, that one is Brahman. You can't say. And that's why Brahman becomes aprameya. It cannot be, that's why it cannot be known. Avikriyam, without any kind of change. Vikriya, no beginning or end, incomparable and changeless. Incomparable, who will be compared to? To compare, there has to be two things. The example, the 6 modes of knowledge that we have. One is comparison. And comparison, the example given by Shastra is the Neela guy. So this person says, go to the forest and if you see a Neela guy, take a photograph. He says, but what is a Neela guy? He says, okay, guy is a cow. He says, do you know an ordinary cow? Yeah, that I know. Cow I know, but you're not saying cow, you're saying Neela guy. What is Neela guy? Okay, then there is some difference. This thing is bigger or whatever. They say, okay, see an animal like a cow, and if that cow has in the throat a big lump or whatever, that is a Neela guy. If you see something like that, you take a picture and bring it back. Comparison needs two things. Who will you compare Brahman to? There is nothing else. Who will you compare it to? And avikriyam, changeless. There is no modification. There can't be any modification. Okay. Now, these 3 words are important. Ekam, eva, advayam. These 3 words are used by Upanishads. So this in our transactional world, there are 3 types of differences that we see, and we have seen these: sajatiya, vijatiya, and swagata bheda. These are the 3 types of bheda. Bheda is differences, right? Sajatiya bheda, jati I told you species. So in the human race, there are differences. So there is a woman, there is a man, there is a child, there is a boy, there is a girl, there is tall, there is short, there is fat, there is thin. All these differences are there. That is sajatiya. Within the species, there is bheda, there is difference. Vijatiya bheda, species, tree is different from an animal, animal is different from a human being. So vijatiya bhed, to we know very well. Swagata bhed is within myself, within this is whole me from top to bottom, but my eyes are different than my nose, different than the ears, then the cheeks, then the hands, legs are different. They are different. So within myself also there is swagata bheda. So these bhedas are there everywhere in the transactional world, we see. Now, that's why to negate these 3 differences, Shruti uses these 3 words. So this ekam, see, first is ekam, eva, advayam. Those are the 3 words used in, even in this is coming from Chandogya Upanishad. Every Upanishad, but Chandogya, this ekam, eva, advityam is used. Ekam is to reject sajatiya bheda. There is only one. Suppose I told you, sajatiya bheda is what? There is one female and then there is a male. Suppose if I am the only one, ekam, I am ekam only. So can there be sajatiya bheda? There is nobody else in the species. Only I am the only one there. There can't be a bheda. So ekam means one is indicated. Brahman is only one. So there cannot be a sajatiya bheda. Then evam negates swagata bheda. So within, okay, there is no sajatiya bheda, but within Brahman there might be differences, like my eyes are different from my nose, etc., etc. No, eva, alone. Eva is translated, there is no duality whatsoever. Eva. And advayam, non-dual. Dvaya is duality. So advayam indicating vijatiya bheda rahita. There is nobody else. That's why these 3 words are used to negate these, because there are always this question, why 3 words are being used? That's why, because there are these 3 types of differences that we see. They are not there. In actuality, there is no difference. But I see them. So to negate these differences in Brahman, these three words are used. Ekam, Evam, Advayam. And Paripurna, to negate limitation on account of space, on account of time, on account of objects. Aprameya, to negate, these are the four types by which we can indicate people, different species. Can't. That's why aprameya. Incomparable. Aprameya is incomparable also. There is nothing else. What will you compare Brahman to? There's nothing else. So this neha nanasti kinchana. Kinchana means even a wee bit. That's a word used by Swami Advayananda. He likes to use this wee bit. Even there is not a wee bit of difference anywhere. This is how he'll say it. When tiny, like a mustard seed also, difference is not there. Neha nanasti kinchana. Very important from Kathopanishad. So all the following verses will now have this neha nanasti. So we will hammer this. That even now, when you are seeing the differences, understand that there is only the non-dual Brahman alone. Okay, this is the highest standpoint of Advaita Vedanta. And to get to that one, we have to just work on our mind, purity of the mind. I will stop here today. We will continue next Friday. There is a class. Yeah. So, yeah. So this class today is 18, now 1825, and then December 1st, this will be the last class for this year. I'm not here in December, but 1st of December I'm here. So 1st December will be the last class, and then you'll have a break for 1 month, and then we will begin in January, and this class will begin on 13th. So you'll have a break from 1st December to 13 January, there'll be a break. Okay. All right, any questions? No questions.
Yeah, in nutshell, you brought the Upanishads to us.
Not in a nutshell, Bhagwan, yes, open.